Hello everyone. Can everyone hear me? Can you let me know in the chat if you guys can hear me? I'm 10 seconds in front. I'm just waiting for someone on the chat to confirm the sound is all working okay. Okay. Yeah, okay, perfect. Let's crack on. Right, so as usual, we'll start with the exchange net position change, and this will be our get-go on the on-chain metrics. The on-chain stuff, again, for anyone who's like new to the streams or whichever, the on-chain stuff is what determines our next 1 month, 3 month, to then even potentially 6 months outlook, and this is how we should then be trying to um, build some form of plan as to how we want to go ahead with regards to our trades. In which direction do our trades want to be most biased? So if the on-chain stuff is looking good and strong for a continued bull market, we know our trades want to be more invested into coins than out of coins. We want to be looking at the sectors where we think they're going to, have a bigger increase than others. Um, yeah, and we basically just want to be in the market rather than out of the market. If the on-chain is looking a bit sort of ropey, it's looking a bit bearish, then obviously we'll want to sort of like start cashing in on some of our holdings. Maybe take 25% out at a time, whichever it is. But the on-chain is what determines our picture, our views going forward over the next 1, 3, 6 months. So, sorry, I still have this little cough. It is going though. I'm nearly there. It is going. But let's start the exchange net position change. So for all those that don't know, this is the flows of Bitcoins into and out of exchanges. So the green spikes show considerable flows of Bitcoin from cold storage wallets. So that might be your Exodus wallet or any other wallet, and they're being moved from the cold storage wallet into, say, Binance wallet or Kraken wallet, whichever. The green is bad. It basically means that more Bitcoin is flowing from cold storage, so people aren't willing to hodl it. They're wanting to move it into the exchanges to basically sell it. It's the main reason why coins are moved from cold storage into exchanges, is to be sold. It's not to do anything else with them. You can do some things where you lend against them and all that sort of stuff, but in the majority, we track it as the investor is planning to sell those coins. So green is bad, red is good. Red indicates more are leaving exchanges, more people are willing to hodl their coins, buying them on the exchange. They're taking them out of the exchange wallet and holding them in their cold storage. So, as you can see, the majority of the red has been from the 2020, March 2020 bull market onwards. So we're seeing now that if I zoom in, you can see we're in the majority, we're in the red. Obviously, the big May of 2021 sell-off, we had a lot of people panic selling, moving their coins back into exchange to sell. Obviously, it was probably not the best idea, so they probably ended up selling somewhere around the 35 to 30k mark, so they're better off just holding. Yeah, let's zoom in and see how this has played out a bit further. So, usually, the way this works with Bitcoin and Ethereum is that on the way down in a bull market, Bitcoin is accumulated. So when price is going down, Bitcoin is accumulated into. So the further it goes down, assuming it's holding certain levels, like in technical analysis, assuming it holds certain levels, if it has a 5, 10, 15% dip, the accumulation into it becomes stronger. So you see these reds. So if we're up here at 68, you saw when it comes down from 68, which is here, we had a little bit of less accumulation here, then you see a sort of drastic pull down here in the accumulation. But on the slight price increase here, we've started to see less accumulation. So that's something just to consider. And with Ethereum, on its way up, people accumulate, or investors accumulate more on the way up, where in price dips, they become scared and the accumulation is actually less. So that's the main key takeaways to take away from the difference in the accumulation of Bitcoin and Ethereum in terms of their price action. But with this, so this isn't wholeheartedly positive or bullish, but it is still good in the overall, because you still have accumulation every single day. It's decreasing. by more each day, which obviously isn't great. But assuming it stays in the red, that's still fine. So in terms of the accumulation for Bitcoin, the large wallet inflows is something we look at quite regularly. This is the 2017 bull market. The blue bubbles, this is 2017 bull market and crash. And up here is the bull market of 2021. So the blue bubbles indicate points in time at which whales who bought between 1,000 to 10,000 Bitcoin have purchased Bitcoin at that point in time, at that price. The bigger the bubble, the more Bitcoin purchased. We can see here that this, one more thing I have to note is that these blue bubbles are people or investors that are still holding their Bitcoin, just to note. In some streams, once we sort of go into the more pro membership, we'll have different types of streams where I'll go more into the on-chain stuff. But for this one today, I want to keep it go more into the chart side of things, but just to get a quick explanation of the on-chain stuff. We see that on some other metrics, we can see that whales are sometimes selling their Bitcoin, but the scale is actually much less. So you see these bubbles like this. You see down here, this was a 250, look in the bottom right hand corner, it was a 250k Bitcoin purchase. There you go, 250k at 3,900, and they're still holding. So yeah, they've absolutely smashed it. But notice that we are getting some big bubbles here, which is obviously really good to see. If I zoom in slightly, I think we've had over 100k in the last 2 days. So 48k, 26, 109, 101, 42, 30, 80. So you're getting still a huge amount of Bitcoin being accumulated by smart money. This 1k to 10k, the reason we track it is because it is smart money. Where if we look at the other metrics and stuff where we're seeing whales that are selling, the bubbles look reasonably similar, but the scale was much less. They're selling like 250 or 400 Bitcoin, and that's not 400k or 250k. That's just 250 to 400. So an average size bubble like this, we see here down there was, say, 11k for a normal size one, 57k for the next one, 5k, 2,000, 3,000, 10, 4. 173, so that was pretty minimum, 24k. So you can see they're all sort of 10k plus type bubbles, pretty much. But on the one where they're being sold, they're like 300, 800, 2k, maybe 5, 6, 7, 8, 10k at absolute most. But the most general ones, the most common ones that are cropping up are sort of 500, 800 Bitcoin at a time. So the scale was much less of what's actually flowing out. But let's move from that onto the charts. We'll get straight into it. So, zoom in. So Bitcoin here looks like it's trying to break out. I've got a number of trend lines drawn. It's trying to break through all of them. If I turn the volume on, you can note the volume isn't great. It's not... hang on, this is a 12-hour candle, and we're only sort of 60% of the way through. If I go to a 4-hour candle, just to show you look, the volume here is not anything. You'd expect it to at least have one, this sort of size, or even this sort of size here for these big down candles, which we got. But yeah, it's just not much volume. So because of that, I feel like even though it looks primed to break out, the volume is not backing it, which is a little bit worrying, I'd say. But let's turn the volume off. Back to the 12-hour. Let me just, in overall summary, say that at this moment in time, I wouldn't be placing any heavy trades. I think it's really difficult to call what is actually happening here. If we do, I think, without filling these major boxes here, and we did actually get one fill here, it didn't actually touch the order. So I was actually short at the time still from this. And so I do leverage shorts by myself, but I don't often put them in the chat simply because when I did it once, I had messages saying, "Oh, I've sold everything I've got because you expect the market to go down," blah, and that's not the point of the leverage shorts. The point of the leverage shorts is to earn on the way down from the leverage short, and what that does is that gets you back the value that you may have lost in your spot positions if the market corrects 10%. So really your pot should never, or your whole sort of capital, your whole balance should never go down that drastically, because if you do expect the market to go down 10%, hopefully you'll be in a leverage short that will earn you back the value lost on your spot account. So that's why I refrain from doing it now. But in the future, we will figure out a system that gets this in place that I can put these trades in. But so basically what happened here is instead of filling the long, all it did was close my short for me, which was a bit annoying, but I closed it at the very bottom, which is obviously great, but then I didn't fill a long and we done this. So here I'm still sat on the side. And I would say the same to you guys. Still be just be sat on the side for now, because until we get a confirmation here that we're hang on, let me just show you this also. So here we got, and let's get the volume up. So when we had this downtrend here, the volume was okay, but it was nothing special. But it was still decently significant. And we had this red downtrend line from 7th of September all the way to October. So pretty much 3 weeks. If you notice here, I think it's from the 10th. Yeah, 10th of November all the way to the end of the month. So it's very similar time length. You're looking at 3 weeks of downtrend and approximately a 20 to 24% pullback from here to here, and from here to here. Here to here, I think was actually a little bit more. Yes, it just in my head. Yes, it was about 25%. So it's give and take pretty similar. But this just to show you, with this candle here, if I go to the 1 hourly, it'll just confuse the chart. But this happened pretty quickly on the break. So as soon as this candle here closed there, we had a big burst of a breakthrough. Here we're not getting anything close to that. Here we're getting a move. Sorry, let me move this other way. Here we're getting a move into the red downtrend lines, and it's just being blocked. It's just holding its resistance. It's yeah, it's not brilliant to see, to be perfectly honest. But personally, I think we'll even get two scenarios still. We're going to get a move up to these orange boxes, and then we could break through. I think that's going to be unlikely. I think we're actually going to reject from one of these orange boxes here. So I would more than likely be placing shorts. Heavier orders in here, very light orders in here. But that's one situation. I think the second situation is we reject here and we get a move into our yellow box, fills the orders. But even then, that's still not great. If we filled all the orders here before we've done this move there, I would say we might have the strength to continue pushing forward. But yeah, that's not what's happened. So for now, I'd say just sit on the sides with Bitcoin. Let it, because most money when I was learning, I saw that most money was actually lost when it's 50-50. You're not sure what's going to happen. You pick a side, it goes one way, it goes against you a bit, your opinion turns slightly, you try and rebalance and go back the other way, and then it's just ranging. So don't bother playing the range. Just wait for it to make its clear mind up. Once it's made its clear mind up, then you can jump in then. And that's the right time to jump in, because the odds are now very much more in your favour. Whilst they're like this, it's on the verge of breaking out, it is, but how it's performed here is not positive. So that's signaling that we may get a further move down, but it is still on the verge. So it's pretty 50-50 at this point in time. And for that reason, just don't bother playing it. I would say still hold all your spot stuff. Still, if you're still in coins, still hold those. But yeah, that's my opinion on Bitcoin for now. In terms of the rest of the market actually, if we start with Ethereum, it was trying to break out, but it's probably failed. Yeah. So look, it was trying to break, but it was past its local orange boxes. Orange box was somewhere in here, and it closed above it. So that's always a good sign. But we saw on Bitcoin, it did the same thing. I'm trying to see if I still kept the box. Yeah, I did keep the box. So the box was here. It closed straight away above. You can see most of the time in the shorts, it goes in, touches, goes below. Goes in, touches, goes below. But it never usually closes above. A close above is always very positive. And here it did close above, which is why we've got this further move up. Here you can see just a wick in. You've got the, if I zoom in slightly, you can see it got that blue line, wicked in, filled the short orders, and then down we go. That was actually a really nice short. But yeah, in terms of the rest of the market, Ethereum is past its local orange box, which is obviously good, but it might have trouble in this red trend line, like like Bitcoin is having again also. I think if we just zoom out slightly, I think it would be very sort of healthy and okay if it did come down and fill this area here. And I don't think it's completely out of the question for it to come down to 3,600. I could be completely wrong, and it could just make the burst through and go. But this is what I mean. At this moment in time, it is very 50-50. So perhaps it isn't the best thing to be doing to be trying to trade this. And it's quite difficult actually doing this stream and going into a significant detail when everything is so up in the air. On chain wise, overall, we look pretty good. But this last week, we have had some long-term guys take some profits, but nothing ultra serious, which is why it's not bothered me too much. Again, in future streams, I'll go through this stuff in much stronger detail, so you guys have got a better understanding and idea of it. But if we just continue for now going through more coins, because some of them do look very nice, some of them do look primed to actually go, and we'll come through to those ones, and those might be the ones we take the swing trades on. Litecoin, no, it's below its trend line, it's up trend line, it's hitting an orange box, too much resistance there, it's just not worth doing. You could probably also get a trend line in here, which I assume it probably hasn't broke past. Yeah, it hasn't. Oh, it's getting there. No, it's not there. It's getting there though. Oh, also, what I may do is every morning I may do update all my charts as I usually do by myself, and I might share that in the Discord. So you guys, if you've got TradingView, you can download my setups and you'll be able to see all my charts on your own TradingView basically. And every time I update the link, you'll see my updated chart. So you'll basically be able to download all of these and watch it play out with the relevant boxes. I don't know if you guys are interested in that, but if you are interested in that, could you just give me a little sort of heads up in the chat now, just to say if you are interested. I'll also do a post on it in the Discord, so more people can see it who aren't watching the Discord live or don't get to watch the replays of it. Solana and Ethereum are in similar spots. Again, it's not making a clear direction. Okay, a few people have come back saying they would want to share streams, share charts. Okay, wicked. Okay, sorry. The stream, how I talk is actually sort of 10, 15, 20 seconds in front. So yeah, I sort of see all your comments come through later. But yeah, going back to the charts now. So even Solana here, it looks similar to Ethereum. And one thing is really important to note is when I do place these boxes, they only work once. So they can work for a second time, but as a second time, they might act as support, but you're not going to get a strong bounce. So if I go to, I'm trying to think of a good one. Fuck it, let's just do this one for now. So if it filled this yellow box here, it filled it and it had a bounce. So at worst ways, it never just plummets straight through. It's very unlikely that it ever, the chance of that happening, I think when I worked them out, were about 12%. So they're actually very low. You usually get at least some. This one here was extremely weak. The Solana needed a bit of a pullback. But yeah, your odds are very low. So it's always worth playing them if they're right. This one here, again, filled nicely and bounced. This one here might be the next one to fill. So far, I mean, that's ridiculously close, but it's not filled. And I mean, it doesn't matter even if it did touch the box. You'd have one order there, which is your smallest order. You probably wouldn't even care about it. You're doing maybe 5 orders in this box, the heavier the size going downwards, so that the more it wicks in, as you saw here, the more it wicks in, the lower your average entry will be. But yeah, Solana is one I would say place your orders in here if you want to. That's actually something. It's on a horizontal support as well. This could act. I would actually. This one is actually pretty decent. I'm going to consider to add this to our 2K challenge and place some orders in here. I might do it both for spot and for the leverage futures. Actually, I'll upload the chart. As you can see, it's still a mile away. So we need a 10% pullback again for it to actually go there. So it may not even fill. But if Bitcoin does come down to the 52, 53K level again, then this will fill. And I'd like to be filling in it. But yeah, I'll upload this to the watch list and I'll tag everyone. I'll put everyone notification there so you can all see, and I'll do that at some point this evening. After the stream, I'll go and eat and I'll come back after that and upload all the charts into the watch list. MATIC. So MATIC, we could have probably held on to that trade, but it was a little, as you can see here, it did act as support, the box, but again, they're not strong after having filled one time. So here you can see it did wick below and it did fill orders here. So usually what you do is you get a move into the box, a bounce, and you get a move in to fill the remaining orders, and that creates the bullish divergence. Here we actually didn't get it. We didn't get the bullish divergence. But what we did get is we did get a stronger fill and a nice move up, and we did actually fill in this box here. I think I posted it in the watch list today, or trade setups today. I think we earned about 8.5% overall, just if we'd played it spot, and on leverage it was 85%. And you can see I cashed out half the trade for 100%, and then the other half was for, I think, something like 60%. But you can see I posted the screenshot from the Binance account of the MATIC trade. But for here now, look, it's filled an orange box, and it's struggling. It's struggling at the trend line, even though it did burst through here. It's struggling at the trend line. I would say for now, these might need to create new lows, because these do look like A, B, C corrections. So you might get something like that. Right, ADA is one that looks very good. So this here, it does have a long-term yellow uptrend line. Sorry, it's a little bit slow because the stream is running as well. So this was set all the way back down here. I don't want to keep scrolling, otherwise the stream quality will go down. And you can see it didn't really hold, but it's held the horizontal support, and it's now trying to reclaim that. This is the main master uptrend line. It's been uptrend line, for months and months. As you can see, let me just do it. I'm not sure. From mid-December, say, call it Christmas Eve of last year. Now that's held for a year, that trend line. So this is an important trend line here. So this might be worth adding. Even though I don't like ADA, I'm not really a fan of ADA. This definitely might be worth adding. Or if it approaches the trend line again, this might be worth adding. And it has had considerable scroll in. It has had considerable downtrends over the last couple of weeks. And we've gone from, what's this, 237 down, let's say where we are currently, to 160, 237, that's 20, 30, 40. It's about 40%. That's a big decline. 40% is a big decline. So this might be worth getting in on. And I mean, from that point top there, we were down from 310 to 240. So we were down about 30% as it was already. So I mean, this could be worth an entry for sure. But this is something we'll add to the watch list. This one I like so far, and Solana, in terms of the box and how it plays, these ones I like. Let's look at Doge. Doge was pushing into the pinpoint and it got this collapse in here. Sorry, waiting for the drawings. There you go. So this downtrend line kept it forced down. It was literally like a, like someone trying to get up and someone just putting their hand on their head, just not letting them up, not letting them up. You can see 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, a fair few times. But here, it's trying to break out. If this can come above and close above and consolidate the horizontal resistance, consolidate above, turn it into support, this is definitely worth considering as well. And this is why I'm in two minds here, because the charts do look good, but usually with Bitcoin, when it does go up, it goes up with conviction, and you see the strength. It will break through certain lines. It will have its strength, and it will make a burst through. But at this moment in time, it's not bursting through. In fact, we're at 58,383. So it's just knocking below the level. Really, it's not really doing anything that that decisive. But who knows? Let's just keep tabs on it. Chainlink again looks pretty promising. Filled the main yellow box and looking like it's trying to get a bounce. This won't be a flag, even though if this wick wasn't there, I'd be screaming for a bear flag. But this one again is worth considering entering, especially if it consolidates above the white horizontal support. That would be pretty good. So a few of these alts are starting to look quite tasty, but yeah, we just need to see how Bitcoin responds, because everything will follow Bitcoin. It's just how it happens. BNB, I did actually sell some of my own personal spot bags today that I've held for a long time, but I've only sold about 30% of them, 40% of them, because I think with this being forced down, with Bitcoin looking how it is, we might get a wick below this trend line. Like ETH went up like this for ages and ages. It broke below the trend line and then it collapsed quite a bit. Let me just go into it. It's actually pretty much recovered now. But we had a long trend line in here. And it came below and it collapsed. So even though this was much more straight up than BNB, BNB's been a bit more all over the place, I still was slightly concerned. And plus, I want to look to get more size in Solana. And let's move on to the next one. Okay, we'll do SUSHI after, but Solana and AVAX, I want to get some size in both of them, especially AVAX. I mean, I'm desperate for it to come down to this yellow box. Just move it out. We might get a move up like this and a collapse below the line. That would be really nice to see. Well, it wouldn't be nice to see if you're holding it. Sorry if you are actually holding it. But me personally, I want to get, I actually don't have any AVAX. So I want to get some size into this. And on the 2K challenge, I may sell small percents of some of our positions just to reallocate some US tether to new positions such as this. And overall, I think in the account we're down about 12%, 13%, which is pretty good considering Bitcoin's down, I think, 16%, and other alts have bled quite hard. So I do feel like we still got, we got in on okay points, even though it'd obviously be better if we just carried on just holding in USDT. But we couldn't be sat in USDT for a month. Everyone would be shouting at me, wondering what I'm doing. So that's why we took some positions, skin in the game. We're now watching it with more conviction, and then we can basically push from there. Let's go back to SUSHI. SUSHI has been a weird one, but it's looked more positive the last few days. So it was trying to break through this red downtrend line here, and we still have this one here. And its orange box is absolutely miles away. So there is loads of room here, but you just don't know how much more it's going to go down. I would say if it can hold above this white horizontal line here, it's maybe worth taking a position. If not, I'll be getting in on this white line. I may just place orders on this white line and just see if they fill. But let's see what we get at this, because I don't think we'll get all the way back down there. I mean, I'm calling for another 20% decline. No, am I 76? I'm calling for about 16, 17% decline. So you're still asking a lot there. Someone did ask me about SHIBA, but I haven't charted it, but let's just have a look at it, because I've not even looked at it today. Okay, this is interesting. This one I just play with basic trend lines, to be honest with you. It's found some port at the... Okay, this isn't actually too bad. This if you like playing the meme coins and the pump and dumps, this might be worth an entry. If it can close a candle, so at midnight tonight, we've got 4.5 hours left. If it can close a candle, zoom in, where you can see the bar is outside this red trend line, and you don't just have these like stupid pointless wicks up and then a close back below. They're fake outs, basically they're false breakouts. Then I would say it does close like this. I would say place orders from here down to here. So if it does come back just to retest, you're filling at a lower price for it then to move up. You see them, they never just come out, they have a little move and then they go. They don't just ever just burst straight through usually. Polkadot. Bounce off the horizontal support, testing the red downtrend line, being still squeezed down and pushed down by it. We might get a move up into it, a rejection. Okay, sorry, forget these lines now. Let's get rid of them because they're not relevant to us now because they're below. But say we do get rejection at the red trend line, we could likely fill orders here. Now, if we do start getting moves down, this is another one I'll look to free up some more USDT. We may even start borrowing some USDT, so we would have to move everything from our fiat account, so our fiat and spot account, into our margin account, and then we can borrow against that. But we wouldn't be borrowing a lot. We might be borrowing 50%. So if we've got $2,000 in there, we'll borrow another $1,000 from the exchange. So if everything goes down 66%, we'll basically lose all our money. But you know, you'd like to think in the bull market, we're not going to go down 66%. If we borrow, say we've got 2,000 in there, and we borrowed 4,000, now everything's only got to go, our account has only got to go down by 33% for us to lose everything, for them to liquidate us, pay us back. Because in theory, then we've got $6,000 in account equity. Say our coins come down by 33%, we're now down to 4,000 account equity, but we owe the exchange the $4,000. So if we borrow that $4,000, we owe that back to them. If it goes below $4,000 at any point, they will liquidate you. You'll be out, and you'll be paying them back the $4,000 and be left with, you know, what value you have left, which is, you know, it's nothing. So that's why you have to be very careful and very sort of conservative with what you borrow. And as long as you're doing it within reason, you should be okay. But Polkadot is another one I would very consider leaving orders there. For now, don't bother, because we don't know if this is going to break through or not. Same with Bitcoin, the same with a lot. The ones that have already broken out, like Link and stuff, they're worth adding if Bitcoin then decides to break out. If Bitcoin decides to break out, you want to ape into Chainlink. I think there's a couple others, can't remember what they were. Maybe, I think it was ADA. I'm going to go through it all in the watch list later. But you want Bitcoin to make its decision, and then you want to start picking the coins that have healthy chart setups for you to say, sweet, I'm going to jump in this one now, so I know this one is primed to go, it's been waiting to go, Bitcoin's now made its jump, let's go for it. And those are the ones you enter. Where something like, I don't know, say MATIC, it's already made its main moves itself. So by Bitcoin push, actually it's bang on the trend line, but then we did have this, so the trend line is now perhaps slightly different. But this isn't as healthy, it's not as clean cut, and it's not as obvious, because like I said, the red trend line might now be down here, rather than this one. You don't know if this is an active resistance, or the trend line from here to here will act as resistance. So this isn't as clean a chart, so forget this one, leave it. Move on to Chainlink. If Bitcoin does break out, Chainlink might be the one to go for. If we fill orders at Polkadot, that would be cool as well. But yeah, I'm basically trying to get the message across to you guys. Yeah, that's basically it. Oh, so Curve is one of my favourite ones. The yellow box played really nice here. I told you guys in the stream last week that I had a big bag of this myself, and I sold 50% of my allocation. I sold it at 592, so up here. So I was very lucky. I've actually rebought with the allocation at $5. I think it was in here, and it's come down. It's now 483. You know, hey, whichever. But I've got the exact same amount of curve I had before this pump, and I've got extra US dollars from it because I sold up here and repurchased in here. It might come down here now. You know, who knows? Again, this is not a clean one. You have even that's not completely clean. No, it's not that. That's not that clean. But yeah, maybe we'll see it test here. We might see it retest this red downtrend line. Who knows? Skip those. Are we're not interested in for now. Oh, okay. So a few people are asking me about DAG. Was I still confident in it? This is one of the best long-term projects for me personally. I think we got this break below the white horizontal support, then turns into resistance. I said it to everyone. This line here is where you could consider buying more, but yeah, you're sort of bricking it a little bit in here. But as you can see, we've had a move up here. It's recovered a bit of more of a decent level. So DAG I'm still holding on to. If it goes down to 16, I'll probably buy a little bit more. If it breaks below, I'll then start being concerned. But I'm happy to hold this till the end of the bull market, basically. What I'm interested in, but we're not. So we're looking at all things on Binance, and this isn't actually on Binance. It's on KuCoin. So for this one, we'll have to, this one I might just put out as a trade and say, but this I like this one. Yeah, I might do a post on this tomorrow to potentially start building up a position because I want to go have a very small pot where I go a bit more gun ho on things. So it'll be like POLK, DAG is another good one. Coty, if it didn't have the 12% move today, would have been a good one. I don't think I've charted this one in ages. Yeah, I haven't really. It might be something like this. Yeah, it might be something like that. But anyway, Coty might be another good one. So Compound is one we like. So if Compound could claim above this white horizontal resistance and then break above this red downtrend line, that would be worth adding into. For now, it has to reclaim this. It has to reclaim that white horizontal resistance. You can see buyers came in, buyers came in, buyers came in, buyers came in, buyers came in. Oh no, buyers did not come in, and it's done this collapse when it realised it could not hold this trend line. Luckily, we have come back up a little bit. Let's look lastly at these. Oh, sorry. Look at cake. So not too bad. It's broken above here, which is nice. You could consider adding here with a move up to the trend line. Whether it goes like this or it goes like this, who knows? But if it does close a few candles above this white horizontal support, then you can get, because this one does stick to trend lines. You can even see here, like that's ridiculous how that stuck to the trend line. But these sort of coins become very they get traded by the bots a lot because there's not tons of volume in them. Yeah, I don't know why. The bots just pick up these coins that respect the trend lines because as soon as they don't respect the trend line, they go. They play by the boxes. You had a box move here, because you could have filled at 17.90, whatever that is, and you would have got to move up to 23.70. So the boxes do work on these as well. Let's look at sand because I know you guys are all pestering me about these sort of coins, even though I hate them. Right, this one. Again with these, I know you guys love these sort of coins, but in terms of just like investing your money, I would say these coins they're hard because they're so volatile. You can see here you created bearish divergences from there to here. So that would be a big red flag for me at $4. But then it's done a bull flag. It's broken from 4 up to 8. It's doubled. So they don't really respect the usual charting techniques. So for me personally, being someone that is a trader and who does a lot of charting, that frightens me slightly. I almost don't want to be involved in that. But I know a lot of you, and I'm sort of out of tune. I've not really kept up hugely with the metaverse stuff. So if anyone is really up to date with metaverse stuff, NFTs, and IDOs, like if someone does that sort of not full time, but spends a lot of time researching all of those things, or even just one of those things, message me in the Discord, and I'd like to have like some form of chat with you. It'd be great to just to have more sort of collaboration with those sort of ideas and projects basically. But yeah, if you're into NFTs, IDOs, or the metaverse coins, get on to me. So that's sand. Let's look at mana. Again, same story here. big bearish divergences. This could go and pump again, but you know, the ideal place to fill would be this yellow box. So if you do want to place orders and you do want to try and buy it, place in this yellow box. And that's it. We've done the rest. So let's have a look at Bitcoin. Back to Bitcoin. Yeah, look, it looks to me like that's failing. So let's see what we get, and we'll keep assessing over the coming sort of 12 hours, the coming days, and we'll basically see what we get with it. But for now, I'm not fully confident. Oh, something I did want to bring up. This is what also frightens me. So on the CME, it's not broken out of this downtrend here. We do have this downtrend, but the CME is not that great for these. So as you can see, it broke out there, sort of thing. So yeah, it's just not a good trend line. But forget that. But we have this trend line, which is, you know, it's been reliable once, twice, 3, 4, now 5 times, and we create the gap. So when you can see gaps, they always get. So this gap here got filled. This gap here fell down, went straight back up, filled. This gap here went down, filled. This gap sort of is a gap, filled. The only one that hasn't filled is this one in here. But I don't think we're going to get that fill in this bull market. That might be later down the line. As you can see, most of the time they fill. So I think we're likely going to see maybe a wick down into. So where is that? Where do we need to go down to? 54,500. So it really would not shock me if we did get the move down to. Let me see. I'm trying to look at it from my phone as well. 54,500. So it's about here. So we need to go back down. It was this candle that created the gap. So we need to come back down to here and retest this. And by staying in this red downtrend line, we can get our orders filled here. Again, I still think this is the zone. I still think now that this is going to be the area where I'm looking to fill up most of my longs. But for now, I would say that's probably it from me. If you guys like the stream, can you you know, write some comments in this chat just saying if you liked it, what parts you liked, or if anyone has any questions, put some questions in. I'll stay waiting and see if anyone does have any questions. Okay, I think for now we're okay. Yep, okay. So yeah, that's it from me then. Thanks everyone for watching. I'm thinking I'm going to do the next stream on Thursday, more than likely on Thursday. So I'll obviously keep you guys updated in the Discord, and we'll basically go from there. But next stream will more than likely be on Thursday. Cheers everyone.